From a young age, we are taught to follow a safe path. Study, get a good job, save money, and eventually retire comfortably. This script seems promising, but there's a major problem. It was designed to keep you within the system, not to set you free. The financial system wasn't created to make you wealthy. It was designed to enrich those who control it. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has been warning about this trap for years. He explains that most people work hard, pay high taxes, save money, and invest traditionally. Yet they never achieve financial freedom. Why? Because the system itself is programmed to ensure that you remain trapped in it. Banks, governments, and corporations need you to stay an obedient worker, a loyal consumer, and a constant taxpayer. But if the financial system is working against you, what's the way out? How can you escape the traps that keep millions stuck in the rat race? The answer isn't working longer hours, cutting small expenses, or simply waiting for retirement. It lies in understanding how money truly works and playing by the rules of the rich. From the moment you start earning money, you're already caught in a web of obligations. Your first paycheck doesn't even reach your hands and full taxes are deducted before you can touch it. The government takes its share first, then come the banks, offering credit cards and loans, encouraging you to go into debt. The cost of living keeps rising, but your purchasing power declines. Meanwhile, financial experts tell you to save money in the bank or invest in retirement plans, without realizing that these strategies primarily benefit large institutions. Throughout this guide, we will uncover the hidden mechanisms that drain your wealth, the reasons why the middle class is being squeezed, and how those who understand the rules manage to break free. If you feel like you're always chasing money but never actually getting ahead, then you need to pay close attention. Because the game is being played against you, but that doesn't mean you can't change the rules in your favor. Imagine a board game where the rules are designed to ensure that only a select few win while the majority keep going in circles. That's the financial system we live in. It was built to keep you dependent whether on a paycheck, a bank, or a government. Robert Kiyosaki calls this cycle the rat race. You work to earn money, spend what you earn, pay taxes and interest, and then have to work even harder to keep everything running. Most people never question this system because they were taught to believe it's the only way to live. But the truly wealthy understand something different. They know that the rules of this game favor those who control money, not those who simply work for it. Traditional financial education teaches that the path to stability is saving, investing in the stock market, and relying on retirement funds. But this approach ignores a crucial fact. Money is constantly losing value. Governments print more currency, causing inflation, and banks pay increasingly lower interest rates on savings. What seemed like a safe strategy turns out to be a disguised trap. The real question is, if the financial system is designed to work against you, how can you turn the game in your favor? The answer lies in understanding the strategies that the rich use to protect and multiply their wealth. And that's exactly what we'll explore in the next section. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to thrive financially while others struggle their entire lives just to pay the bills, the answer lies in the rules each group follows. The rich play a different game because they learned early on that the traditional rules don't work when it comes to building wealth. From childhood, most people are taught that the path to financial success is to study hard, get a good job, save money, and invest in the traditional financial market. While this advice is well-intentioned, it benefits the system more than the individual. Who profits the most when you follow this model? The banks, which earn from your loans. The government, which collects taxes on your labor. Large corporations, which thrive on your loyalty as both a consumer and a worker. The rich, on the other hand, play a completely different game. They don't work for money, money work for them. Instead of relying on a single paycheck, they create multiple income streams by investing in assets that generate cash flow. While most people put their savings into bank accounts that lose value due to inflation, the wealthy invest in real estate, businesses, and other income-producing assets. Another major secret of the rich lies in taxes. While the middle class pays high taxes on earned income, true millionaires use tax laws to their advantage. Businesses, real estate investments, and foundations are legal structures that allow them to significantly reduce their tax burden. They don't throw their money away on excessive taxes, they reinvest it to grow their wealth even further. If the system was designed to keep most people trapped, the wealthy have learned to escape this trap by understanding the hidden rules of the game. But the good news is that these rules aren't exclusive. Anyone willing to learn can start applying them and change their financial trajectory. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into the role of debt, how it can be used as a weapon against you or as a powerful tool to build wealth. From an early age, we are taught to avoid debt at all costs and that saving money in the bank is the best way to secure our future. But this mindset is precisely what keeps most people trapped in the financial system. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that not all debt is bad in fact. The wealthy use debt strategically to create wealth. While the middle class goes into debt to buy cars, electronics, and other consumer goods that lose value, the rich use bank money to acquire assets that generate more income. They take out loans to invest in real estate that pays for itself through rental income or to finance businesses that multiply their capital. On the other hand, saving money may seem like a smart move at first glance, but it hides a major problem: inflation. When you put your money in the bank, it loses purchasing power over time. What 10,000 reals could buy 10 years ago is far more than what it can buy today. Meanwhile, banks use your money to lend to others and profit from the interest while you earn an insignificant return. The wealthy understand that money itself is not the most valuable asset, is merely a tool for acquiring real assets like real estate, shares in solid companies, and profitable businesses. Instead of saving, they invest. Instead of avoiding all debt, they use good debt to leverage their investments. The middle class and the poor remain trapped because they were taught to fear debt and trust the banking system to protect their money. But if banks truly wanted you to become wealthy, would they pay high interest on your savings? Would they teach financial education in schools? The reality is that to break free from this cycle, you need to change your mindset about money. You must start thinking like an investor, not just a worker who trades time for money. In the next section, we'll explore how the lack of financial education in schools is part of the strategy to keep people trapped in the system. If money is such a fundamental part of life, why don't most schools teach financial education? The answer is simple: because the system doesn't want you to learn. From an early age, we are conditioned to follow a predetermined path study: get good grades, land a stable job, and work hard until retirement. But at no point are we taught how to manage money, invest, or create passive income streams. The reason for this is that an education system focused solely on producing good employees ensures a constant supply of workers for companies and taxpayers for the government. Robert Kiyosaki explains that schools were designed to prepare people to be part of the system's machinery, not to become financially independent. They teach technical skills but completely ignore the rules of wealth building, of money. As a result, many people leave school without knowing how to manage debt, avoid financial traps, or build wealth intelligently. Meanwhile, the children of the wealthy learn these lessons from an early age. They grow up understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, learning how to invest, run businesses, and use money strategically. They don't rely on traditional education to learn about finances. They learn at home from their parents and mentors. The lack of financial education isn't an accident. It's a fundamental pillar designed to keep most people trapped in the system. If everyone truly understood how money works, no one would accept living in debt, paying excessive taxes, or blindly trusting the government to secure their retirement. But the good news is that it's never too late to learn. Those who start studying money and investments quickly realize how they can escape financial traps and build a solid future. In the next section, we'll explore the role of banks and how they use your money to grow their wealth, while keeping you increasingly trapped in the system. When you deposit your money in the bank, you might feel like it's safe and being stored for your future. But what really happens to that money? Banks don't just hold your money, they use it to generate profit for themselves. While you earn a minimal return on your savings, banks lend that same money to others at high interest rates. In other words, they multiply their wealth using your money, while you continue believing that saving is the right thing to do. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that banks are designed to keep people dependent. They offer easy credit to push you into debt, encouraging you to finance cars, homes, and even your education, ensuring that a portion of your paycheck always goes toward paying interest. The result? You work harder and harder but never feel like you're truly moving forward financially. Furthermore, banks are part of a larger system that controls the creation of money. When the government prints more currency to cover its expenses, it causes inflation, which means your money loses value over time. Who benefits from this? The banks and those who own real assets like real estate and businesses, who loses? The middle class and the poor, who see their purchasing power decline without understanding why. This is why the wealthy don't rely on banks to store their money. Instead of letting their capital sit in low-yield accounts, they invest in cash flow-generating assets like real estate and businesses. They understand that money needs to be constantly in motion, working for them, not sitting in a bank, making another institution richer. If you want to break free from the bank's game, you need to learn to use money the same way the wealthy do. This means investing in productive assets and avoiding the trap of bad debt and high interest payments. In the next section, we'll discuss how taxes are designed to take money from the middle class, while benefiting those who know how to use the rules to their advantage. Many people believe that paying taxes is an unavoidable duty of fair contribution to keeping society running. But few realize that the tax system is structured in a way that places the greatest burden on the middle class and everyday workers, while the truly wealthy find legal ways to pay significantly less. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that taxes are one of the main reasons most people never become rich. When you work as an employee, your salary is already reduced by taxes before you even touch it. You pay income tax, Social Security contributions, and other deductions that shrink your purchasing power. Meanwhile, business owners and investors pay taxes after using their money to grow their businesses and acquire assets. The difference between earning money as an employee and earning money as an investor is drastic. If you receive a salary, the government takes its cut before you can invest or spend. But if you own a business or invest wisely, you can use legal strategies to reinvest your money before paying taxes, drastically reducing your tax burden. That's why the wealthy build fortunes through businesses, real estate, and investments, because the system is designed to favor those who understand how it works. The middle class, on the other hand, bears the heaviest tax burden because they were never taught these rules and, in many cases, don't even realize that legal ways to pay fewer taxes exist. On top of that, governments often raise taxes to cover their own deficits while printing more money, which leads to inflation. In the end, the middle class pays twice, first through direct taxation and then through the devaluation of whatever money they have left. The good news is that anyone can learn to use the same strategies the wealthy use to reduce their tax burden. The key is to study financial education, understand the laws, and start building assets that work in your favor. In the next section, we'll explore how inflation is one of the system's most powerful tools for silently eroding your wealth. If you feel like, despite working hard, your money is never enough to keep up with the cost of living, that's not just your imagination, it's inflation working against you. Inflation is often explained as a natural rise in prices over time, but in reality, it's a hidden mechanism that transfers wealth from the middle class to banks and governments. Robert Kiyosaki explains that inflation isn't just an economic phenomenon, it's a strategy. Inflation isn't simply the result of a growing economy, it's the outcome of deliberate policies, such as excessive money printing by governments. When more money is injected into circulation without a proportional increase in the production of goods and services, its value drops. This means your paycheck loses purchasing power, and you need more money to buy the same things. This effect is devastating for those who keep their savings in the bank or rely solely on a fixed salary. The wealthy, on the other hand, aren't harmed by inflation, they benefit from it. That's because they invest their money in assets that appreciate over time, such as real estate, stocks, and commodities. While the middle class watches their money lose value, the rich see their assets increase in worth, making them even wealthier. Another crucial factor is that inflation pushes more people into debt. As the cost of living rises, many turn to loans and credit cards just to maintain their lifestyle, trapping them further in the cycle of debt and high interest rates. And who profits from this? The banks and major financial institutions. If you want to protect yourself from inflation, you need to do what the wealthy do. Invest in real assets that grow over time instead of keeping your money stagnant in a bank. The key to escaping the system isn't just earning more money, it's learning how to play the game wisely. In the next section, we'll talk about retirement and why relying on the government or traditional pension plans could be one of the biggest financial traps. Most people spend their entire lives working hard, believing that one day they'll be able to retire and live comfortably. But is this promise real, or just another trap set by the financial system? For years, Robert Kiyosaki has warned about the major flaw in traditional retirement plans. They were designed for a world that no longer exists. In the past, retirement was more reliable because life expectancy was lower and there were more workers contributing than retirees collecting benefits. Today, that balance has shifted dramatically. Populations are aging and governments are drowning in debt, making public pension systems increasingly unsustainable. Even those who opt for private plans may face difficulties. Many pension funds invest in traditional assets, such as government bonds and conservative stocks, which may not keep up with real inflation. The result? When it's time to retire, the saved money may not be enough to maintain the desired standard of living. The truly wealthy do not rely on government retirement plans or conventional private plans. They create their own financial security through assets that generate continuous cash flow, such as rental properties, smart investments, and their own businesses. Instead of waiting for a retirement check, they ensure that their money keeps working for them, regardless of age. The idea of depending on the government to guarantee financial stability is one of the biggest traps of the system. And the sooner you realize this, the faster you can build an independent future where your income is not tied to promises that may never materialize. In the next section, we will talk about how to escape this system and start applying the strategies that the rich use to build and maintain their wealth. Now that you understand how the financial system was designed to keep you trapped, the big question is, how do you escape it? The answer is not simply working more or cutting small expenses, but rather changing the way you perceive and use money. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that the first step to breaking free from the system is to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like an investor. Most people spend their entire lives trading time for money, but the wealthy build assets that generate income without requiring active work. The key is to invest in assets that produce cash flow. This can include rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, personal businesses, or any other source of passive income. The goal is not just to earn money, but to create a system where money works for you. Another essential point is learning how to use debt to your advantage. While the middle class drowns in bad debt such as car loans and credit cards, the wealthy strategically use debt to acquire assets that pay for themselves and generate profit. Additionally, it is crucial to understand the rules of the tax game. The system favors those who know how to structure their businesses and investments in a way that legally reduces their tax burden. This means studying companies, real estate investments, and other mechanisms that allow you to keep more money in your pocket. But the most important change of all is mindset. Financial freedom begins when you decide that you no longer want to be a prisoner of the system. This requires the courage to learn, let go of old beliefs, and make different decisions from what most people do. In the final section, we'll reflect on how to take the first steps to escape the rat race and build a solid and independent financial future. We've reached the most crucial point of this journey. What can you do? Starting today, to break free from the financial system that works against you and begin building a path toward financial freedom. The first step is to take full responsibility for your financial future. Robert Kiyosaki always emphasizes that no one is coming to save you, not the government, not the banks, not your employer. The only person who can change your financial reality is you. This means committing to learning about money, investments, and the rules the wealthy follow to multiply their wealth. Financial education is the key difference between those who spend their entire lives working hard without ever achieving independence and those who build wealth strategically. This involves understanding how assets and liabilities work, how to avoid bad debt, and how to invest wisely. Additionally, it's essential to change your relationship with money. Instead of seeing it merely as something you earn and spend, start viewing it as a tool to create freedom. Every real that enters your pocket should have a purpose, to be invested in something that will generate more money in the future. It's also crucial to surround yourself with the right influences. Most people are surrounded by friends, colleagues, and family members who follow the traditional mindset of working until retirement. If you want to break out of this cycle, you need to seek mentors, books, courses, and communities that share the same goal of financial freedom. The journey to break free from the traditional financial system and build wealth doesn't happen overnight. But every step you take today brings you closer to independence. The secret isn't just making money, it's learning how to make money work for you. The system was designed to keep you trapped, but now you have the knowledge to play by the right rules. The decision to take action is in your hands.